Hey guys, my name is Cidiac and welcome back to another City Skyline experimental video where today we're going to find out what happens when you completely disconnect a little city from all outside connections. I want to know what happens. Like, does it thrive? Does it continue to succeed? Or will, the births that keep happening within the city sustain the population? I don't know. It could either crash and burn or become a very successful civilization. This is the question your boy's asking, and we about to find out the answers today. So as always, guys, if you do enjoy these experimental videos and you want to see more in the future, or maybe have your own experiments that you want me to try and check out or accomplish, then leave a comment down below, smash that like button, and if you haven't already, please make sure you do subscribe so you're notified when the next video does come out. So basically, we're going to build a small town. We're going to get it up and running to the point where it makes money. It's able to sustain itself. It's all good. We got no issues, right? That's all we simply want to do. Then we're going to disconnect all outside connections, whether that be the highway, which I think at this moment in time, it probably will only be the highway. And I want to see what happens because they do give birth within the city, which helps grow the population and sustain the population, but I don't know whether that's going to be enough to kind of keep it where it is. That's what's going to be interesting. So you might have to kind of look at the kind of childcare services of the city, and I just want to see what happens. Does it all crumble and burn, or is a city really heavily relied on an outside connection? We're going to find out. So what we're going to do then, we're going to build a very, very basic town. So if I kind of start with a nice little boulevard kind of road, and I don't want to, I about to say I don't want to make it all gritty, but I'm 100% going to make it all gritty. But what we'll do is we'll try and add a little bit of flair to it. So it's got about 80 there. So it's an 80 by 80. I'm going to add a nice little bend. So come on, I'll delete by around about 20 lengths there. And then 23 by 23, there we go. So we have a nice little bend that's going to tear through the middle, right? That's what we're going to have. And then we're going to start by creating our said little grid pattern. So we'll come out by 11 to maximize it. And we'll bring that to 50 and cut in. And I'll do the same on this side. So up by 11, down by 50 and cut in. And then, is that almost the perfect bend, do you reckon? Let's find out. So 19 by 19, look at this, boys. Look at this right now. It looks really weird, but we're going to roll with it, boys. We're going to roll with it. Now, what do you reckon? I could do more of these, or do you reckon I'm really pushing the boat out? 29 by 29. I don't know what design I'm actually going for right now. What even is this? So 40. Let's go 39. 39 by 39. Right, I think we'll stop there because it's going to be a really, really weird system that we are setting up. We'll keep it pretty basic anyway. I told you I was going to add a little bit of a flair to it rather than kind of stick with those boring grids. But now we are going back to those boring grids. Yes, I love them. I love grids. Right, so we'll again throw a little bit more in. We'll go by 50 here, drop down by 10, by 10, by 10. And this allows us to go up by, I went up by 50, didn't I? Which was pretty much here. Ooh, which is not exactly 100%, is it? But I think that's more down to the fact that how that sticks out slightly. So if I went up to the full shebang there, bam, bam, and then here I go straight up. That is not technically going to be connected there, which is fine. What we'll do here is we'll create a couple of cul-de-sacs. See, guys, I told you. No boring grids. Ish. A little bit. Okay, maybe some. Maybe some. But there we go. Right, we'll keep growing it as time goes on, but I'm going to get this little highway road now connected. Now, ignore how terrible it's going to be. It's just a simple connection to make it connected, and then we're kind of going to unconnect it in the future. So let's get this all up and running then. So let's drop down our little bit of residential that's needed. So we'll throw the residential over here. Up there. Here. Around there, there. And I'll drop some around this side as well. There we go. We're going to throw the commercial then to be the buffer zone for the boulevards. There we go. So I'm going to build it like no different to how I build a normal city, just to kind of make this like a very accurate representation of something that I would do in a normal city. A little bit of industrial there. A little bit of industrial there. Hopefully that's going to be enough job support. If not, we'll just add some more in. And while it dissimulates through, we're going to add in the water network. We'll add in the power and all that jazz. So we're going to just hook all of this up. I'm going to do a very loose spiral going around to maximize this as much as possible, boys. And then, as I choke on my own breath, we'll add in now some of these water towers. So one should be enough. And then we'll add in the power. Now, should we just go for like a standard coal plant, or should we go for like an oil plant? Let's. That's going to be another point as well. Is if I did a coal or oil, they need to import the coal or oil to power it, and they won't be able to do that. So maybe I kind of give them a helping hand and slightly push them in the right direction. There is no day and night cycle, so should we go for the solar plant? Let's go for the solar plant right now, because we don't really have a day and night cycle in the city, or in this city at this moment. So solar panel will be the solar power. There we go. Will be the way to go forward. Sewage. I've just realised we haven't done sewage. Now, inland water treatment plant, that should be good enough. Right, I'm hoping so. And then we have to also have the garbage needs taken care of. So, should we go for like an incinerator, or should we just go for like a large recycling centre? Let's just go for the large recycling centre to begin with, and then we'll see what happens. Because we are hemorrhaging money pretty quick. And we got to keep an eye on it. I think what we'll do is I'll also paint this little section in the middle. It looks like a little eyeball, doesn't it? It really does. And I also want to kind of set up a little park as well, so people can walk through. So I might kind of integrate a little city park within this little gap around it. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing with this. How would another little bend look in the opposite way? I mean, it would look good if I used the right road. There we go. I get now more zoning capabilities through that. It's so weird, this is, but I like it. I like it in a weird and awkward way. Right, I'm going to drop a little city park then. Again, nothing different to how I would normally do stuff. And I'm going to anarchy this in because it's not going to fit in how I want it to, but there we go. And then we'll zone this park, and almost at this moment, we're going to be getting close to being able to disconnect it once the city has grown. So let me just get my couple of side gates now set up. So we're going to have one there. I'll have one here. I'm going to throw in one there. We'll have one here. And we'll do one there and one there. Or maybe one here. Right, so a lot of side entrances I've now kind of got. But hopefully this will allow us to create a nice walkable park that everybody is going to want to check out and visit. Right, that almost goes straight on, but we're going to connect it like this. That can go straight up to there. That one straight to there. Now, all the side gates are connected via the path. Just going to throw down our generic kind of stuff to kind of bulk up the park area. There we go. Good stuff. And these little gazebos are always a good little stocking filler, as I like to call them. So this will allow us to kind of also generate a little bit extra cash money moolah from the residents as they walk through it, which will be kind of handy and ideal. That one's not, is that one really? No, we're not really facing the right way, but there we go. So sweet. So it just needs the power, but that park area is then kind of set up, and we might start to see a little bit of money getting made from it. So people are starting to move in. It's going really well so far, even though we're like losing like nearly 4 grand. But once it all comes together, we should be laughing. We should be laughing all the way to the bank. Right, let me just get this all connected for now, and we'll fast forward and just let this city naturally grow. Now, we will need all of our services and all that kind of stuff, but I'll wait a little bit until the city's a little bit bigger and see kind of where it bottoms out to how much money we're going to be losing a week. And then we can kind of judge what we want to do. I want to get to the city to a kind of point where it's self-sufficient. Which might mean kind of growing it a bit more, expanding it a bit more and all that kind of stuff. But we'll go down that route once we get to it. They might want a lot more... let's see, we need fire brigade already. They might want a lot more industrial. Because sometimes that is what happens when you don't like build a city normally. One of the demands, commercial or industrial, always skyrockets. Because they use that as their main industry in a way. Oh snap, look at this. Look at this monstrosity. I'm going to have to drop down the fire. I'm just going to have to. Right. Which is going to be cheapest to run? That's 560, that's... Oh, this one. But it only has 2 fire engines. This one has 6, so we'll go with this. Now place this over here. So at least it's got fire coverage at the minute. That'll stop the buildings, you know, getting rickety wrecked. Now we also need healthcare too. There's going to be no end to this. Right, I'm going to drop down the bare minimum for each one just to kind of shut these guys up for a second. There we go. The city can now function. Leave me alone, guys. Leave me alone. Right, okay. So now we're actually making some money. We're actually making a little bit of profit, which is now sparking more residential growth, which is really good. So what we'll do then is we'll kind of extend it a little bit more. There we go. And I'll do one more extension. Just there. We'll do one over on this side. The park's just leveled up, so that is currently making us some sweet, sweet cash. There we go. Nice little bit of an extension there. Sort the water out, and then we'll drop some more residents in. And how much you're making right now? I reckon if we can get up to about 2,000 a week that we're making in profit, then I think we're ready to then pretty much disconnect the city. Right, I'm going high density. Just going to help us out a bit more there. We have a really big crime rate going on. So that police station, there's a firehouse. Medical center. Oh, snap. I dropped down 2 fire stations. Oh, I'm so dumb. I'm so freaking dumb. Right, there we go. There we go. That was now sad. I mean, the police have got a busy job right now because there's crime everywhere. But there we go. There we go. Sweet, 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 sweet. So, this is the town in its current form. It's still got a long way to grow. That's a good one. A long way to go to grow right now. But just keep it continuing. Keep it continuing. We have a oh, hang on. Where is it? We see the birth rate. Is it in the health here? Childcare. There we go. We're getting 27 new births a week, and we are death care. Where does it tell us how many people die a week? Is it here? It's somewhere. I can't quite remember. Elder care. I'm sure there's like a statistic it shows you like deaths to births. I mean, that's how many dead bodies we got, which, oh my good God. We have to spend more money. How is it all of a sudden I dropped down that residential and now it's like the whole world has crashed? I think it's because there's like a ridiculous amount of death care. Right, that ups our death capacity to 210. So they're going to cover all the deceased right now. I think having all these dead around us right now is killing off our city slightly. How is the park doing? Okay, so it's not even making profit just yet, so we double the ticket price to get in. How are we like struggling so bad on such a small little town? I have no idea, but it should slowly come back to life right now. We're now losing 2 grand. Holy smokes. Right, once I start seeing the population take a U-turn and go positive, we know we're back on track. Oh, wait. Are we polluting? We're polluting our water source. No wonder people are sick right now. No freaking wonder. Right, there we go. I was about to say, why are we doing so bad? I just realised why we're doing so bad. It's our water source. It's in the industrial area. There we go. That satisfied it all. I wondered why we were doing so bad. Now look at our money. Go from minus 2,000 now into profit instantly. And people are moving back in. Right, sorry guys. My bad. My bad. But yeah, let it continue. And let it simulate for a bit. We do have a little bit more industrial demand. We're going to fill up a little bit of this. Well, we've got commercial here. Alright, let's drop down some more commercial in these little gaps. We no longer need these power lines, so they can go. Drop down more commercial. Add that little bit of residential in there where the power line was. We need more water, so drop another one on top of it. All good. And we're actually making nearly 3,500 a week, which is perfect, guys. Absolutely perfect right now. The park is making profit too, so I'm happy with this right now. I'm really happy. So we'll do our last little bit right now of making all this high density residential. We are going to add in a little bit more industrial, which I can pretty much do that like this. And then I'll squeeze in, as it gets close to the residential, office zoning. Because that will also be used as industrial as well. And commercial. We'll do some high density commercial. Only a small amount on this outer side. Kind of satisfy those needs. And we'll pretty much leave it as that. There is going to be more issues that do arise for the city. But it's pretty much self-sufficient to a certain extent at this point. The only thing that we don't really have at the moment is schools. So let's add in one of each of these schools right now. So one there. One there. Which I place them in the park area, hoping that they walk through the park to get to the school. Which would be another way that we make even extra money. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty good, right? It's, I mean, as self-sufficient as you pretty much get it for a small basic little town. So I'll give it 5 minutes just to simulate through, just to kind of get everybody living there for quite some time. They know all the ins and outs. The city kind of settles down. Some people are educated to take those jobs, and then we can pretty much leave it as that. And then we'll fully disconnect it from the outside world and just see what happens. Will it survive? Will we be able to be self-sufficient? Will there be enough births to sustain the population? What's kind of weird about that, just even saying that, is if I disconnect it and if the births sustain the population, there's going to be a point where everyone's related. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Yeah, it really is. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. That is the only thing I can say at this point. We'll see. Right, some time has now passed then. We've done a few little extra things. I had to get an extra garbage plant down because garbage is burning up. Had to get a few more elementary schools just to get more people educated to take those higher paying, higher capacity jobs, which it's slowly working its way up right now, which is really good. And it's self-sufficient. I couldn't be any more happy. It's like I'm making like 7,000 a week profit, which is really sweet. So it fluctuates at the moment, but I think the average is about 7,000. They want more industry. Currently, unemployment is at 17%, so I could squeeze a few more jobs in, and what I can do to kind of combat that is throw in more office jobs. Because they're industry, but they don't require any kind of pollution, or don't produce any pollution, should I say. We need more water by the looks of it, so I told you there's always going to be something that we kind of have to do. Sewage, we're going to have to add in more sewage needs right now. I did place a little bit of an extra road here, which I'll kind of extend off slightly. Bam, there we go. Give it its extra water pipe. That takes care of the sewage as the city slightly grows a bit more. And in terms of unemployment right now, I don't know if that's going to increase or decrease. But we are adding a few extra more jobs around the edges. So I think it's time then that we fully disconnect this city from the outside world. I'm excited. I really, really am. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually pause it. Okay. So let's just round up a couple of numbers. Okay. Just to kind of make it a little bit easier for us to understand. 7,000 is our population. So I'm just going to round it up to 7,000. That's easy enough. In terms of our healthcare, childcare, we're in 26 births a week. Now, we kind of need to up that slightly. So I'm going to get the childcare, or the child health center set up next. So if I just drop one there, if I then just drop one here. I know they're kind of like deleting some of the residential, but that should have like a decent coverage where we are now going to be upping the birth rate slightly. The average health is now shooting up to 93%. So hopefully that will help out the birth rate and try and sustain the population slightly. We don't know. Deaths, there's only 5 deceased, 4 deceased versus childcare. I can't remember where the birth rate... I'm sure there used to be one. Is it in here? Ah, there it is. See, I knew it was. So at the moment, the population is growing just based on births to deaths. So I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to sustain it. We'll find out. So yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So, pause. And we are deleting that outside connection. It's no longer connected to the outside world. So let's see then what initially happens in its first few stages. So straight away there is no new... Well, the population growth literally dies almost to a halt. And now it's literally based on births to deaths because no one can literally enter or exit the region right now. So that's kind of interesting. The money we're making per week is approximately still the same, which is also pretty interesting. Right. Let me check out these births to deaths again. Well, childcare, 44 births a week. See what I mean? Right now, we've still got more births than deaths. But at any moment, there could be a really big death wave that just like takes over. And I bet you the cost of living in this city is going to get really, really expensive because the more births that happen, the less places there are to live. Which makes it even more interesting. The only thing to do then is build the buildings even higher to get more floors on them. We'll see what happens. So, as it stands right now, it's going pretty well. Pretty well. But with no outside connection, will the industry suffer with no exports? Or is the commercial enough to supplement it? If the industry dies... then the jobs get lost. If the jobs get lost, there's no money to pay the rent. And it's a vicious cycle. Already I'm starting to see a couple of complaints for the industrial area, not enough buys for the product. So it's already taking a slight effect that they can't export outside of the region. The commercial over here says there's not enough educated workers. Now that's not down to the fact that they have an outside connection. It's just literally down to the fact that they need to get a little bit educated a bit more. That's simply it. High school wise, yeah, they've got all the needs. I could drop a university down, but it's super expensive to run one of those on a weekly basis. So the industrial is taking its biggest hit first. Not enough buyers for the product. We are losing quite a lot of people then for a split second. Are we getting more deaths? Oh, the deaths are starting to increase. The births are potentially slowing down. And now we've got more deaths than births. But I think that number's consistently flip-flopping. Because we go from minus to plus quite often. I don't know whether that is just the kind of downward spiral or it's going to be constantly on the minus. Because eventually, everyone's going to be a family member. Which is going to be really weird. It really, really is. But as it stands right now, it's going well. We're still making the same amount of money. Park's doing really well too. That's doing really well. So... we can't really have much complaints. The industry has kind of done something where not as many are now complaining about buyers for products. Only a couple of these guys over here. So I'm not sure what kind of game plans they have up their sleeve. But we'll let it simulate a little bit more. And we'll see if it's still able to be self-sufficient. So now what is worse than not enough buyers for the product for the industrial area? This one. Not enough raw materials. Which is even worse. It means they can't import any goods to produce any goods. So pretty much the factories are at a standstill. And they're going to slowly, consistently start becoming abandoned. And this could then be the foundations of the city slowly dying. I mean, we're getting upgrades for the buildings coming in every so often too. But it's like, we've got no one to kind of fill these buildings at some point. Because we're going to start to, well, we are losing population consistently at this point. Deaths, 20,000 a week. Now, the argument could be made, yo, Seniac, why don't you invest then in elder care to make them live longer? But really, we're just making Sims live longer who don't, at this moment, are going to put anything towards the current society because they're old. They're in a home. They can't pay taxes or work for us. So, you know, it is what it is. But we'll drop 2 down anyway to see what happens. But we're now about to drop below, for the first time, below 7,000 in our population. So where do we stand with this then? Are we okay? So we have slowed down the deaths per week as we now increased the average health of them. It's still not amazing, but I'm sure it was at like 53 years of age. You know, push up to 72. Childcare, 17 births a week. So, you know, we're trying our hardest right now, but I assume at some point it just won't be enough. But we've managed to kind of switch it where there's now minimal deaths and more people being born. So that could have turned the tide to us and kind of give us a little bit of extra breathing space. But I don't know how long. Now we are starting to lose a lot of population. We're now down to 4,800. And what we're starting to notice now that the industry has died out. And it's literally not rebuilding itself because there's no demand. Because, you know, less people, if you know what I mean. Which is really weird now that it's starting to die out. So it's not self-sufficient enough. We've made a lot of money. But even this residential building right now has no residents inside of it. So we have empty skyscrapers just littering our city at the minute, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. In terms of unemployment then, 6%. That's shocking me because I understand that there's less people here, which means there's more opportunity for all the jobs available. But then again, there is no jobs available. We're still losing people a week right now. More deaths. On average, there's more deaths than births at this moment in time. Childcare, we're only having 21 a week. Death care, there's people dying. But elder care, we've managed to up the life expectancy to 78. So they're living a little bit longer. But at the, in the end of it, it is all slowly dying out. It's all going downhill. We have a lot of... Nearly everyone is well educated. 80% of the population is well educated, which is really good. Land value is looking pretty sweet as well because it's literally... You ain't got much choice to live, so prices do skyrocket. How well is the little city park doing? Still making us tons of cash, money, moolah, people running about. It's glorious. It is glorious, but what we can say from this little experiment is, yes, you can self-sufficient a city, 100%, but it has a time span. Now, we started, well, the population went up to 7,500. We're now down to 4,500, so we've literally lost 3,000 residents. And we're going to consistently keep losing them until eventually they do all die out. So, is it self-sufficient? Yeah. But not for long. Not for long. So no, you do need that outside connection. It is inevitable. It's gonna die out. You do need to have people, you know, kind of immigrate here and out and stuff like that, and exports to go in and out, so it keeps up the demands and all that kind of jazz. Pure birth rate alone will not self-sustain a city. So it's just got one outcome, this has, and it's gonna be literally deserted as time goes on. But guys, we're going to end it for here anyway. I hope you did enjoy this fun little experiment. If you want to see more of these in the future, then please make sure you smash that like button down below. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you're notified when the next episodes do come out. But until next time, guys, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.